So we got to start with 5 pounds or 10 pounds and work ourselves up to it again. But I feel if the gift is innately there, it will always be there. But people that, whether you're gifted at it or whether you're a student of it, you know, if you turn it off, it's going to take longer to start back up again.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now,
but you know, I was going to say just real quick, getting back to us all being ourselves and just really being light workers. Right. You know, there's a parable that I'd like to share with all of you. Is this little firefly, and it was, you know, it crossed the very, very dark African road, and in the Sahara, and it went over and it started buzzing around the giraffes and the rhinos and the hippos and the elephants, and it was buzzing around, and finally the giraffe said, you know, who in the hell are you? And the firefly said, you know, I bring light in the world. And all the large animals, they just scoffed. And the giraffe says, well, I can just take my tail and I can swat you and swat you all the way back to the other side. And the rhino says, well, I can step on you right now. You know, what difference do you make? You're so small. You know, right. You're so small and so insignificant. And the firefly, instead of retaliating, the firefly said, well, you saw my light, didn't you? And then buzzed across to the other side of the road. And so the thing is that the more that we can, you know, be ourselves and not be retaliatory with people that don't get it, we have to live by action. We have to live by effort and by action and show people, you know, this is who we are. This is something that you should not all be afraid of.
Right.
You know, we are normal people wanting the best. You know, it's kind of like when you go back to children or even pets, small children or pets. They know people, you know, like when the mother says, you know, go up to the priest and give him a hug, you know, that child might say no, or that dog says no, because innately they might know that priest is a child molester. But, you know, the parent says, oh, no, don't go over there and hug that bozo, hug that homeless person. And the child says, no, I'm going to go hug him. He's a nice man. You know, the thing is that there's so many different disguises out there. We have to keep on showing people, you know, through our disguise and saying, listen, we are normal people wanting to help people, and we're students and students of the truth.
Right.
Now, Tim, you know, you see people, and we come across a lot of people that when they want proof that there's something out there, but when they get it, it just completely shatters their little worlds. For us, in our area, you know, we try to calm them down and things. But I mean, do you see the people that come in and they want you to provide that there's proof of life after death? And instead of healing them, which is what it's supposed to be, because that's what they're supposed to be seeking. Have you ever come across people who, because they're out there, they're the people out there that want to know something, but they don't really believe, and when they're given the proof, they completely freak?
Well, you know, I can only tell you through my experience as a spiritual medium is when a person comes to see me, or even when they book their appointment, I say all I need is your first name and your phone number, because if I cancel the appointment or can't make it, I need to call you so you don't drive all the way to Costa Mesa or Carson. Sometimes the person will say, well, I'm really skeptical, and I says, I don't care. Give me your pet's name, you know, and give me and I'll call you by your pet's name, you know, if there's some skepticism there. But many times when people come to see me, you know, they sit down and they're a little bit nervous. They're a little bit scared, and sometimes when people get a little bit nervous and scared, they start talking a lot, and they say, and this has happened years ago, where a person came and she was so nervous and so scared, she automatically just blurted out, I sure hope my mom comes in. She died of cancer 3 years ago, and I'm her only child, and her name was Sarah. And I looked at her and I said, thank you so much for saying that to me. And I didn't say that sincerely, I said that sarcastically. I says, now if she comes through, how will I know that she's coming through?
Right.
And I catch that now when I see nervousness with people. I automatically calm them and I says, listen, all you need to do is sit in the chair, relax, and I'll let you know who I'm seeing and who I'm coming through. The less the media knows, the better. And you'll get your validation that there's life after death. Now, I'll tell you, there are times that I will finish a sitting, and I'm not coming from ego by saying this, but after doing 9,500 sittings, I'll say, oh my God, that was such an amazing sitting. I got this, I got the bullet in the head, I got the month that they died. Oh my God, this is such an amazing sitting.
Right.
And at the end of the sitting, that person will say, very interesting. And I almost want to wring their neck and say, what was so interesting about this? I got your husband's name. I got when he died. I got his age. What's just so interesting about this? And there'll be some times where I'll be the first to admit that I'm not connecting with spirit as strong as I like.
Right.
And at the end of the sitting, I'll just kind of like scratch my head, and sometimes I'll look at spirit and says, you guys, I did the best I could.
Right.
And sometimes that woman will just she'll say, or that man will say, oh my God, can I have 20 of your business cards? This is the most amazing experience I've ever had in my entire life. I'm thinking, as I want to wring her neck, I'm like, what was so amazing about it? I wasn't getting the things that I want to get through. So everybody is going to take from a sitting and take from a session what they need. Everybody is in their own place in their life, and we as light workers, we can only give them ourselves, and if they're open to it, they're going to get their proof. If they're not so open, there's nothing that you or I can do to give them that proof. You know, there's that Zen saying is, when the student is ready, the teacher will come, and sometimes the teachers are right there, but that student is not ready to hear.
Right.
We run into that quite a bit.
Exactly.
You know, Tim, and I'm always forever.
And I was going to say, is, as far as people that you come into, if you run into the born agains or the people that are very religious and they're saying that we're going to pray for your soul, I say, please bring it on. Please, or I actually say thank you for praying for me, because prayer is very, very important.
Right.
And when they're praying for our souls, I think that's great because it just gives us more energy.
Right. Exactly.
So when people say, I'm going to pray for your soul, I'd say silently, I smile and say thank you, because you know what? I need their prayer. To do the work that I do, it's so exhausting. It takes so much energy. It's so time-consuming that I need that energy of prayer.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Even if that's not exactly what they were intending.
Yeah, sure, but prayer is prayer. It's
prayer,
energy directed towards us, and we can, as a worker, catapult that energy back to where we need to fly it.
Yeah, exactly. What were you going to ask, Jim?
Oh no.
You're going to ask.
Go ahead.
I want to ask you a technical question.
Sure.
There's different kinds of mediumships out there, and there's the clairvoyant, the clairaudient, and the clairsentient. And you use all three, right?
I do, yes.
Can you just go into that just a little?
Sometimes there's a psychic. Psychics, they'll say, they'll do their psychic work, and then they'll say, clairaudient, they'll just say, gosh, you know what, I really hear this man's voice, and he has a really groggy voice, and he sounds like he's a smoker, and that person says, well, that was my dad. That person who's clairaudient might not see the person, but they'll be able to hear that spirit. A person who's clairsentient, they might not be able to see the person, but they might be able to feel them, and they might say, gosh, you know what, I'm really getting pain in my abdomen, and just feels like there's a tumor there. The person might say, well, that's how my brother passed last month. So I work with all three. There are some people that only have the ability to just work with one or even two. And when I do a sitting, it's every sitting is different. Every sitting is very individualistic from person to person. Sometimes I'll be just very, very clairaudient with a person, and I won't be clairsentient. Sometimes I'll be very, very clairsentient, but I won't be able to see the person. Sometimes when I do sittings, I'm able to see all three. But every sitting is different, and it's not so much the person who sits with me, it's the energy that comes in from spirit. Sometimes those in spirit side are not able to, bring through everything that we want to see. Sometimes they don't have the energy or the strength to bring it through. So sometimes on spirit side, they're not able to bring through everything that we wish. The medium, all the word medium comes from is a Latin word. It just means middle.
Right.
We are the middle for spirit side. We raise our vibration up. And us mediums, we raise our vibration up. But those on spirit side, they have to lower their vibration to meet the medium halfway.
Yeah, I remember.
And a lot of people hear the word medium and they say, oh my God, it's the devil or this or that, or oh my God. All it is it's it's someone calling you a middle.
Right.
middle for to bridge that gap.
Yes.
You're the operator.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes the operator hears things that they don't want to hear. For example, sometimes a person will come to a medium and they will only have their father on their mind that they want to come through. That father might not show up, but the grandfather who molested them might come through and say, listen, I messed up completely, and I need to apologize to this person. That happens a lot in sittings where sometimes we need to do some grunt work before the person of love comes through. Sometimes that person of regret will come through in order to clear this up for them and also for the spirit themselves.
Right.
Wow. Now, Tim, somebody asked in the chat room,
Yeah.
how to develop what you can do. I know you said you were born with yours,
and
but that everybody has it,
and to trust your
and be able to trust your instincts
and listen to it. Yeah.
Well, not everybody has a mediumship gift.
Right.
I will say everybody has intuition.
Right.
Everybody has intuition, and of the general population, everybody has intuition. It's just some people have a little bit more than others. There are some people, there's some, like, let's just say a very, macho guy who say, no, I don't have intuition, I don't have intuition, I don't have intuition, I don't have intuition. I'm saying, yeah, you do, you just probably just don't know it. And, he might be driving down the road and he might say, yeah, I'm turning right here. I'm like, well, why not turn down at the main boulevard? I don't know, I just want to turn right down here. And then we find out later, well, there's a traffic jam. And I'm like, how did you know that? Well, I didn't know that, I just wanted to turn right here. See, so the thing is that we all have different varying degrees of intuition. For me, how I discovered it was going back to when I was 21. I allowed myself to start listening to voices again. Then when I was 23, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be mentally ill. I'm just going to let loose, and whatever happens, happens. And that's when I started hearing things, and those things started becoming validated. I was doing a part-time job at Paramount Pictures here in Los Angeles, and I remember going to Griffith Park with one of the women from the set, and this is when I started allowing my gift to come through, and she says, why are you looking at my lap? And I says, well, I see 4 babies there. And she goes, excuse me? And I says, well, I see 4 babies there. And she just gave me this really sour, like, vomiting look. And I says, listen, I see a blonde-haired baby, I see a Mexican baby, and I see this really cute black baby. And I says, the 4th one I really can't tell, but they're all from different fathers. And when I said that to her, her eyes swelled up with water and tears fell from her face. And she said, these were my 4 abortions. She goes, and I can tell you each and every one of them that I had, and that describes the fathers of these children that I would have had.
Right.
And that's when, I started developing the gift. I'm like, okay, so I'm not going crazy. It's a gift, and I'm actually picking this up from Spirit.
Right.
So when people see things, if they do have a gift, because a lot of people don't realize they have the gift.
Right.
That's correct.
They'll think it's something else other than.
Yeah.
So really what it is really start trusting yourself.
Yeah, and and a lot of people, here we're so spoiled in Los Angeles, and and people that are in major metropolitan cities, we're a little bit more spoiled because there's resources. There's in every large metropolitan city, you'll be able to find at least one spiritualist church. There's at least one. When you go to small towns, that network is not there, so the support's not there.
Right.
So you can't really talk to anybody about this unless you go online like this, or you talk to a trusted friend. But we're so lucky and so blessed and so fortunate that we live in such a large city that we have resources to this, and people like me and other people like you, where a lot of towns people take for granted. It's like it's not there, and if you talk about this, that's not good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where the joy of the internet. As I look at the internet, is now all truth based. Sure, with the internet, sure, pornography spreads a lot faster. Through the internet, a lot of embezzlement happens a lot faster. But if you look at the internet, you look at that as a lot of truth moves faster. So, when one person puts up a blog and says, this person's a fraud, this person's this, that goes through the airways so quick.
Right.
And we're moving at such a higher resonance now. Our planet is moving at such a higher rate right now that, you'll find that in the next, 2 to 5 years, there's going to be a lot of people exiting the planet.
Yeah.
I don't know, honestly, if this has anything to do with that 2012 bit, but I do know that in the next 2 to 5 years, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be choosing to exit the planet just because they're not going to be able to sustain the energy that's coming through this planet. And some people will be taking themselves over, which I would call suicide, but other people that are just be wiped out in different catastrophes. But that's going to be happening in the next couple of years. But it's nothing to be afraid of, because as long as we stand true to ourselves and be who we are, we have nothing to worry about.
Right.
Well, some of the beliefs that we hold about 2012 is simply that 2012 it's going to be a collapse of the organized religions, and a lot of people will take themselves out at that point, because once you collapse, the fanatics won't be able to take it. You kick a crutch out from underneath somebody, they'll fall.
Yeah. Right, and we have to say is that through many years that religions have been a crutch to many people.
Right.
And for that time, for many people, it did serve them. Different religions did serve them. But now we're in a time right now where it's becoming a little bit more obsolete.
Right.
What I fear, and it's not that I fear, but what I'm concerned about is that when we eliminate religions, that will eliminate God, will eliminate that higher being. And, whether you want to call it God or whether you want to call it Mother Earth or the Divine Presence, it's all the same. We have to always realize that, our breath, our money, our health, our friends all come from the Divine Source. And I just hope that a lot of people don't, throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Because we're just talking about the 5 major Judeo-Christian religions. I mean, we're not talking about spirituality. We're just talking about organized religions, which
I think what will happen is a lot of people will move out of the organized religions and over to spiritualism.
Yeah, and everyone still believes. Most people, despite what's the system of religion they believe in, I mean, everybody still holds constant that there's a God. You know what I mean? Like, even though I don't believe in the Christian God, I still believe that there is a supreme, like a God.
Right. I just got a feeling that that's, and it's interesting that he said there's the big exodus, because we've always said that once the major religions collapse, and they have to, because spiritualism really does have to take hold, otherwise us as a race won't make it into the Enlightenment.
Yeah, because once when I was standing in the store, a Christian came in and he was open-minded, was asking me about what it was all about, and he goes, I wish I had the courage to be able to make my own decisions. He goes, that's why the church is good for me. He goes, I don't have the courage. I can't make up my mind. I can't decide for myself, so I need someone to decide for me. And he goes, I really am sad about that fact, because I feel like it is my crutch. You know what I mean? And those are the people that I worry about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe that is.
And those are people that might exit from the planet once they don't have anybody to tell them what they're going to do. There's going to be a lot of aimless souls out there, searching. And when they don't have that direction or guidance, they'll exit from the planet, whether they will choose to or they will manifest them to leave.
So it's going to be a real eye opener, I guess, the next couple of years.
And
what we can all do is just continue being ourselves, and giving that light to so many different people.
Right.
Jymie, when I have gone to, I think I've made 2 of your ceremonies now, and forgive my my lack of communication as far as what I call them. I know that we did a winter ceremony, we did a summer ceremony. Do we call them a solstice, or we call them?
Yes, we did
solstice.
A solstice ceremonies?
Yes.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure I'm calling it correctly, as I have a big smile on my face, because I know my mediumship lingo, but I don't know some of the occult lingo. But the thing is that I remember going to some of your solstices and seeing the array of eclectic and wonderful beings that have come there, and I still remember having, being there in the back of your shop there, 20, 25, 30 people, all of us holding hands, and doing the ceremony, and me looking around and seeing how each and every one of these people were truly very unique and different, from one guy being, tattooed from head to toe, to another person looking very, very waspy, to another woman who was just quite large and had a big hairdo. I mean, we're all beings of light, and I looked at that with you and Vicky running the ceremony, and then in and of itself is helping out people.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what we do on this planet, just as long as we continue to help people on this journey. We're all in it together. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that have been brainwashed because of their families, because they thought it was the right thing to do with their religions and things like this. And the more that we can study about things and know the truth.
Right.
A lot of people don't realize A lot of Christians will not accept this. A lot of Catholics will not talk about this. But going back to, the 2nd century with the Emperor Augustus and his mother Helena, they deleted the part in the Bible about reincarnation because they did not want those people to feel that they can come back and live another life. They want to control those people. So they deleted that from the Bible. Now that's a fact. That's the truth. And and unfortunately, with the Bible, there's a lot of good in there, but I look at the Bible as a classic film that's been edited down to a C movie because everybody's taken from it, they've added to it, they've put their own words into it. But if you look at the Bible as it is, and no interpretation as it is, and look at it as it was truly, truly written in the right wording, it's an amazing book. It's just that different people have chopped it apart and added to it. It looks like a jalopy now because of people's control, and that's an unfortunate thing, and that's where a lot of people get such a sour taste when it comes to religions, and rightly so. When I do my sittings, I still always start with as you both realize because you both had sittings with me, I always start with an opening meditation for about a minute and a half, and I always close with a closing meditation for about a minute and a half. And for many years, I used to use, imagine God's white light around you. I've eliminated God from it, and what I do is I say Spirit's white light. Same thing, it's just different words. The reason why I've eliminated God is because, unfortunately, the name God has been ravaged by so many different generations, for control on this, that unfortunately now people have a bad connotation when it comes to the word God. So I just say Spirit now, which is the same thing, but it's the wording. And we as light workers, for all of us out there, we have to keep on sharing this light and exposing truth to a lot of different people, and that's where you guys are coming in.
Well, we're trying.
That's not you're trying, you're doing. It's either you are or you aren't. It's like I say, it's you're pregnant or you're not pregnant. It's not you're trying. It's either you are or you aren't, and I have to say you are doing it.
Thank you. Thanks. One of the things that I always point out about the Bible, too, is that because I actually have, and it's out there, you can get it right off of Amazon. It's called the transliterated version of the Bible. And it's word for word of some of the original scripts. And one of the greatest things that always stood out to me was the one saying, it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter into heaven. And that's actually not what the original Bible said. The original Bible said it is easier for a piece of rope to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to get into heaven. And I think, and if you look back at when it was changed and why, it was literally used to control the people who had money so that they'd give more to the church. So that
and you look at the Catholic Church, Jesus, I say Master Jesus because there are many different masters that have come to, try to help us ignorant people, and when I say us ignorant people, I'm throwing myself into it as well. And there's been many different masters, Master Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and when Master Jesus was here, the whole Catholic Church was started because of Jesus Christ, Master Jesus Christ. But never did he say men cannot marry. It's the church that came in and they didn't want these priests to marry because when the priest died, if the priest was single, then that real estate goes back to the church. If the priest was married, then that means that real estate would have to be divvied up with that family. And so that's why they never wanted the men to marry. They wanted to keep that all as a business as together. And a lot of people don't realize that as well. That Jesus never said men can't marry. It's the Catholic Church that came in and says, no, you can't marry because we're going to keep all this real estate. We're going to keep this all together.
Yeah. It is. And
what I also want to invite is your viewers, if they ever want to, be added to my mailing list.
Yes.
And I send out a newsletter once a month. At least my assistant sends it out once a month. One just went out just 2 days ago. But if you want to be on the mailing list for any newsletters that come out, they can just send me an email at timbraun.net, which is TIMBRAUN as in Nancy .net, and they can just send an email and saying, please add me to your mailing list. And what we will do is we will add you to the mailing list through the computer. And anytime that we have any type of seminars or any type of groups that come up, you'll be notified.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, I'm going to put myself on that list.
We are on the list.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
All right. Well, at least one of you is. So at least you're 50-50 there. But you guys can just, especially for your viewing and listening audience, you can send an email, and we'll add you to that database, and we'll send you information.
Well, if she gets the information, she never shares it with me.
Okay. All right. Do you have any other questions for the chat room that come up?
Not
we have some,
but we do have some.
We have some more.
Okay, great.
Although
you've
by kind of answered quite a few of them. So, do you want to hit him with one, Jymie, or should I?
No, go ahead.
Okay. When you do a reading for someone, is it as much for them as it is for the person or, people who have passed? Like, do they move on afterwards, or are they a constant presence? And I'm talking about spirit.
Let's start from square one. When a person comes to a medium, I feel that the most powerful sittings will come through when there is a need, when the person who comes in to have the sitting, if they really have the need to connect with someone who's passed over, that sitting will go very, very strong.
Right.
If a person comes in as what I would call a looky-loo, and they have no one that they really care to talk to, it does not come in as strong, but sometimes even a looky-loo will come in, and the person will say, listen, I was a bad uncle. And you don't remember me from 3 to 5, but I was around you from 3 to 5, and I, hit you or I spanked you, and I did all these different things. And that person will come in to spank it. To apologize.
Right.
And that person will, at the end of the sitting says, I have no idea what this is. And I says, well, talk to your mom, or talk to your dad or whoever. And they'll get the validation later, and they'll say, yes, this uncle was a rageaholic and did this to you, and that's why we moved away from them. So sometimes, a person will come in for a sitting to just be a looky-loo, and they'll still get information. Now, getting back to your specific question, Vicky, it's both. Sometimes a person on spirit side really, really, really wants to make that contact. They need to come in and say, listen, Mom, I'm okay. You know what? I was the one that had the perfect teeth, or I was the one that shaved my head right before I passed. I'm okay. Look, I'm okay. So sometimes that person's spirit side will come through so strong just because they need to get that presence across to that family. Mm-hmm. Now, other times, a person's spirit side will come in, mediocre, because this was not their thing. They would not have done mediumship. They would not have come into something like this, or perhaps they didn't really even care for the person that is asking them to be there.
Right.
And so sometimes that person will come in strong or not. But it's very individualistic from person to person. Everybody needs something, whether it's communication that life after death exists, or whether it's communication that person is fine. Everybody needs something different.
Right.
Okay, we do have a question.
Thank you
so much. We have a question in the chat room for you. Is the energy level of the person that requests a sitting important for the sitting?
Yes. And when you say the energy level, if a person, and the reason why I do the opening meditation is really to kind of calm the person down.
Right.
Because they'll come in with anxiousness,
mm-hmm.
or they'll come in with nervousness, or maybe they're running late and they're all hyped up. So I need to kind of calm their energy down to make them comfortable. But absolutely, if they are wanting to be there and they're attentive and they are calm and receptive, that makes all the difference in the world. If a person comes in skeptical and they come in skeptical, that will only hinder the sitting. Sure, we will be able to make contact with spirit, but it's going to take a lot more work for the spirit and the medium to make that contact happen. But if the person just sits there and doesn't say a word and just is open, that makes all the difference in the world.
Right.
What if openness and skepticism aside, what if you grab somebody and they're so tired, or they're sick, or does that affect the reading? If they're not feeling
not necessarily. Well? I had a person who came in 3 weeks ago, and she was very, very tired. She was very, very, not sick-like, but she was just very, very tired, very drained, very lethargic.
Right.
And actually, I'll give you two examples. The one 2 weeks ago, she came in. Her mother came in and said, "It's okay, I'll greet you here when you pass over." And I didn't know what that meant. Well, the woman says, "I have cancer and I only have 6 months to live." So she was able to get a very strong connection from her mother that came through. And she was lethargic. She came in tired, and we were still able to make that contact. Now, even about 3 or 4 years ago, I was doing a sitting for a person, and the person just seemed so spacey. You know, the person in front of me. And I'm trying to do my best, trying to do my darndest to connect with spirit, but the person in front of me, they were just so spacey. And at the end of the sitting, when we turned off the tape, because I record all my sessions, I said, "Are you on medication?" And they said, "Yes." And I said, "Are you taking a lot of antidepressants?" And at that time, I said, "Are you taking Paxil?" And they said, "Yes, I am." And I says, "That's why." They says, "What do you mean that's why?" And I said to the client, I says, "I was really struggling to make contact." I says, "Because you're not so mentally there. You're not so mentally alert that I couldn't make that connection many times." So, yes and no. It depends on the person.
I have a question. I just thought of, ancestrally, like you'll get a connection, whether it be a father, mother, grandparent. Have you had anything like further back than that, like generations past? I'm just when I think of mediumship, I just think that you're going to contact their immediate loved ones.
I've been approached by different TV shows and radio shows to bring in celebrities, and I will say to that person, "Well, will we have the celebrity's family member there, a person that they knew?" And the person says, "Oh, no, we don't." I says, "It's not going to work that way. We need to have that link. That person will serve as a link to bring that person in, whether they knew them or not." For example, if a client comes to see me, and she never knew her birth grandfather, but he comes in, he might be coming in to, apologize for passing when that client's mother was only 6 years old. So that message might not be for the client. That person might be coming through, or even a great-great-grandfather or grandmother that will come through that the client did not know, but that person most probably will be coming in for their father or maybe even their grandmother or grandfather that's still living in order to make that connection. Now, there are also times where the person's father and mother have passed over, and that grandparent will come through that they never knew, and that grandparent will come in and says, "Because of my drinking, your father was the way he was, and I'm sorry that my choices inadvertently affected you, that I never knew you." And that happens as well. But most of the time, 80%, 85% of the time, it's when you actually have had that link.
Right. Oh, okay, thank you. That's interesting.
We got another question. Is there a link between mediumship and other psychic senses, empathy in particular? Do strong empathic links last beyond life in this world?
Yes, they do. Love always exists. As long as there's love there, that never ceases to exist. But, when you have that empathic feeling and you cross over, you will still hold on to that. You'll still hold on onto that issue, whether it's a positive thing or a negative thing. You'll still hold on to it until you don't want to hold on to it anymore. A lot of people still, when they pass over, they still choose to hold on to it. Until they spend a lot of time on spirit side and they get more acclimated and adjusted to spirit life. But you hold on to it as long as you want to hold on to it, especially when you pass over and say that you in life had very, very strong Christian or very strong religious beliefs. When you pass over, many times you'll still hold on to that until after some time, what we would call an earth time, maybe a few years or maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, a person will come to their senses and say, "You know what, that really wasn't the best way. I'm actually searching out for other things down spirit side."
Oh, wow.
Okay. No, that's cool.
We got another one.
Yeah, I've been kind of thinking about this too. They asked, will a person still come if she or he has reincarnated?
Great question.
Yeah.
My belief is that for reincarnation, we reincarnate, within packs. We choose our mother, we choose our father. In a previous lifetime, our mother might have been our child, our father might have been our brother. We reincarnate in packs in order to really fully learn those lessons.
Right.
I am a believer that reincarnation is every couple of 100 years. You know, we go back to spirit side, we go back to source, and we kind of like pick who our new mother's going to be, our new father's going to be. So, you know, usually there's some time there between lifetimes.
Mm. Oh, okay. So that they wouldn't be like an instantaneous thing,
right?
Right, but there are some times that, you know, and again, I stress it's very individualistic. You know, there are, you know, repeated cases that have come up even more recently where, you know, a person was shot down as a pilot in World War II, you know, back and died in, you know, 1944, 1945, and this boy, you know, has come back here in maybe 1990 or even 1995 and says, I was shot down, and was able to give all the proof of the plane and all the different history. And yeah, that would be the reincarnation. That person just came back a little bit too soon, you know. Well, I want to say too soon because that's a judgment. I would just say came back earlier than most people do.
Right.
Right. Well, we're coming up to the head of the hour. Tim, you're going to be in the store on Tuesday for readings. We are so excited.
I'm looking forward to seeing you there. I think I'm coming in there at 1 o'clock, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And you're going to love your first appointment. Her name is Toby Darling.
Oh, wonderful. Your mother. Wonderful. Oh, I'm so looking forward to it. I'm so looking forward to it. I still remember your first sitting with me, Jymie, and I said to you, I says, you know, I forget who came through, but they says your mom's still smoking, and you said, Tim, my mom's on an oxygen mask. She can't smoke. And I was like, well, Spirit's telling me that she's still smoking. And I still remember you gave me the most dirtiest look. You said, Tim, you don't understand. My mom can't smoke. And so then you called up your mom and told her the crap that you heard, and she says, well, I'm cheated here and there.
Yeah, you know, it was my grandfather who told on her, and she goes, who told on me? I said, Grandpa. And she goes, blank hole. I was like, she goes,
well, it's been an honor, you two. Thank you so much for having me on your show. Again, for your viewing audience, you know, contact me at timbraun.net if you want to be added to the email database, and we'll send you out a newsletter. And again, it's been my pleasure, and we'll talk to you next week.
Okay, thank you so much,
Tuesday.
Tim.
Thank you.
Okay, bye, you two. Keep doing the work you're doing.
Thank
you.
You too.
Sure, bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, love Tim.
Tim's amazing. He's
so we're going to take a
great person.
You know, we've actually just jam packed this show. You know that we're going to take a slight music break, and then we're going to get a hold of
Sam S'mores.
Of Sam S'mores. She's another psychic. It's Miss Serenity Moore, and it's another one that we get the honor of calling a friend. That we know.
Yes, she's a new friend, but wow, we seem to think we've known her for forever. You know what I mean? She's really. Yeah.
We're going to, and then those of you who want an appointment with Tim, he is going to be in the shop next Tuesday. If you want to call us tomorrow.
If you want to give us a call, 323-462-7078.
And we'll book you in with a reading with him.
Yeah. He's just amazing, and it's just really comforting, and it just he'll help fill in a lot of gaps if you have all these questions, around in your mind. And
so we're going to actually listen to Demonica and the Darklings.
Yes.
Every day is Halloween, and then we're going to listen to Snow White Sin's Rune. And then we're going to get a hold of the famous Miss Serenity Moore, another good, great person. Where we're going to just try to embarrass her because we love her so much.
I think she has a 97% success rate,
something like that.
Yeah, something like
She's
that.
really good. Well, Tim's got a big percentage.
I'm not. Hey, this is.
We've got two of the biggest.
I am not saying anything against Tim. Are you kidding? They're both. I'm saying. When I say that, I'm not saying anything about Tim. He knows what I'm saying.
No. I'm saying that we've got two of the biggest.
Yeah, I'm saying these two mediums are the real deal. Really, yeah.
So we're going to go, and we're going to take the music break, and then so that I can get some more something for my mouth and to drink.
Yeah, and stop jumping down my throat.
And stop jumping down your throat. And we're going to get Serenity on the line with us.
Right.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Miss Serenity?
Yes?
Miss Serenity, we just got handed a piece of paper, and tonight's topic has suddenly been changed. We need to talk about the metaphysical values of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, with or without crust. How does that affect your magic?
It affects it a lot if it doesn't have the crust. I have to have the crust.
I thought without the crust it'll make the energy flow that much better.
So did you.
Well, the crust will keep it inside.
Oh, contained. Oh, I see.
Yes, contained.
All right.
If you cut it in half, it just wide open.
Now, Serenity, I went to her website. You went to her website. I know you've been to her website, haven't you?
Yes, I went to it before you did.
No, you didn't, because
Yes,
I did it right away.
I did it weeks ago.
Oh my gosh, seriously? You guys are arguing about that?
Yeah.
I went to Serenity's website like a month and a half ago when she gave it to me.
I went before you did because I psychically, intuitively
No, it's my Serenity.
Manifested it in my mind. Okay. Okay, we're fighting over you on air.
Yeah. We'll continue this.
On air?
We'll continue this later.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, this is live.
Oh, yeah, you're live.
Damn. Okay, hi.
Hi.
Oh, yeah, the whole peanut butter and jelly conversation.
Yeah, it's out there. It's done.
It's out there. It's done.
Okay.
You've given your
Sorry,
opinion.
guys. Sorry, everybody.
You can't back down on your crust opinion now.
That's right. Oh, okay.
Now, you and I have been talking.
Yeah.
We've
really?
all been talking a long time. Yeah.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot?
A whole lot. Now, you were born as a medium, yeah?
I was.
You were, and from a long line.
Yeah, you come. It's an ancestral thing, yeah, right?
Yes.
And, well...
And that's really something because, so you were actually born into a family that told you to accept it.
Yeah, as opposed to Tim who...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of family who...
Yeah.
In fact, it came from my great-grandmother.
Right.
And, my mom had a problem having kids.
Right.
And the first thing that my great-grandmother told her, when I die, you will have a child. And I was conceived that night that she died.
Whoa.
Okay,
that's
just... boy, do I feel like crap,
well,
it's just like, wow. For to go.
No bearing on you.
And then your mom did, and your mom knew that would happen. And here's why I say that.
And she chose to have you.
And here's why I say that. You know what? My grandmother had my mother, and she knew in her heart that if she had a child, that her dad would die.
Right.
And my grandmother got pregnant, and she had my mother, and her dad died. And the only difference between that is that my grandmother held it against my mother her whole life.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Whereas you were embraced and loved, so... Yeah.
And that is something. And what's great is we had Tim on before you. I know you were in the room.
In the chat room, yeah.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Oh, you weren't? I'm sorry.
No. I love you. Just things ready.
Well, that's the end of the chat. Well, no, that's good because what I was going to say was, Tim, since you didn't hear, you guys are actually the opposites because Tim came from a really heavy Catholic,
born again Catholic family.
Yeah, and he was told not to embrace this. He was told he couldn't embrace this, that it would make him crazy. And his dad disowned him, not only for being a medium, for the medium thing, and for pursuing things like that, but also because he's gay.
See, and that's what happens. That's what happens. And that's probably what would have happened if I would have actually came out at an early age. I would have probably been in a hospital somewhere, opened my mouth when I wasn't supposed to.
Right.
Because other people think that it's the work of the devil or whatever their religious beliefs are,
But you were able to just embrace this.
Right.
I was able to embrace it.
So did you, obviously you're born with this, what did you think about, being able to see here people who had passed at a young age? I mean, did you understand? I mean, I'm sure you didn't have a complete understanding, obviously, from a young age, but were you encouraged to talk about it, or?
Not outside the family, no.
No, within the family, I mean.
Family, yes.
Yeah.
But at first, I thought everybody could.
Right. Yeah, I do hear that a lot.
Really?
People, children who they assume that everybody can see.
I thought everybody could do what I could do.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's natural.
Yeah.
This is natural. Everybody could do it until I was told not to for a long time.
Oh, so you were told not to?
Not to talk about it.
Outside. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry, my mistake. Yeah. Of course you clarify that.
Outside the family.
Yes. Shh. Yeah. We don't talk about that. Yes.
Yeah.
That's like voodoo.
Oh. Yeah. Exactly.
All right.
Now you've been working on as a medium for your whole life.
You're a working medium, yeah. As
yes.
Well. Yeah.
Now I want to clarify this because Tim said it, and I know you've said it to us. Not all psychics are mediums, but all mediums are psychics.
Right.
That's right.
Now, can I ask you, do you do it with all three gifts? We were talking about clair...
Audient, clairsentient, and clairvoyant, yeah.
Yes.
Right.
You do all three?
I do all three.
Wow. So wow, that is something. That is really something. And the Fabby Goth Angel in the chat room is asking, did you have to hide your gift?
No.
You had to hide it from the outside world while growing up.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow. Now you...
My son's going on, not as far as I know. I did have to hide my gift when I was young, sweetheart. Yeah, I did. Because he's also a medium. He's not embracing it, but he is a medium as well. And he's gay, So
nice outing him.
Yeah.
He's been outed, But
is that Mad Eye Mikey?
That's her son.
Oh, okay.
That's her son in the room, Mad Eye Mikey.
So do you, and Tim said, he has a couple of offices that he operates out of. Do you, do you do personal readings? Do you do it in any other kind of arena where you offer your services?
I basically do it in my house.
Right.
Readings in my house. Some people will invite me to do a psychic party. I'll do those.
Right.
And then I offer my services, to the DA.
Oh, okay.
And now you do pro bono too, I saw.
Oh, yes, I do. I'm not going to ask for money.
Right. Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah. Is that for the DA work, or obviously
she does it for the law enforcement.
You have to make a living as well,
Yeah, that's for my readings.
Right.
And you do it for nonprofit groups, and you even say on your website other deserving individuals.
Right.
Exactly. Somebody who can't afford one, of course, I'm going to give them a reading.
Oh. Right.
You got to be the nicest person we know, seriously.
Yeah, you're the sweetest.
If somebody doesn't have the money and they really need a reading, they come to you and need that closure or whatever they need.
Right.
I'm not going to charge.
I guess they'll find you for a reason,
They do,
Yeah.
And
now you talk about closures, and a lot of people, that's what they come for, isn't it?
Yeah, they do. They come for closure. And then also some come for the psychic part too, like jobs, financial reasons.
Wow. Your son said it's helped him tuning in his ability. So he is kind of embracing it, yeah?
No. He is. But he is, but he's not. It's just like to the point where sometimes
It's probably
he gets
because
scared, nervous, but he'll do it.
Yeah.
You know, he does it.
Yeah, it's good because Mom's doing it. I don't want to do it. Mom does it.
But you know, I mean, he's done investigations. He's seen spirits. He's heard spirits.
Yeah.
You know, and he saw, you know, an inhuman spirit.
Okay.
That just totally freaked him out.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow, I guess that would though if you saw an inhuman one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you now? Do you get those? I mean, do people have those around them that you can see?
Yes. I'm sitting here shaking. I'm freezing in my house right now.
Oh wow.
Now I'm actually shaking right now.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's just like I got the fan on me and the central air on me, and I'm just like, okay.
Well, there's your reasoning. I was gonna say, go get a glass of wine or something to warm you up, but we know what happens when you do that.
Yeah, I make me spill it all over, and then I commit abuse of wine.
Now, somebody in the chat room wants to know.
If you use
divination tools.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
So you don't use tarot cards or
some
anything?
people
Tarot cards are very pretty, and I have some, but I don't use them.
Yeah,
I have some beautiful runes as well, but I don't use them.
Yeah, because normally, like in the media, and I'm obviously not saying this is you, you see a lot of mediums use pendulums, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I make, actually, G and I make pendulums.
Right.
And I actually use them if I'm out investigating.
Oh, you do? Okay. Do you do it over a map? Or
I'm actually,
photo?
you know what? When I'm wherever I'm at, I just start using it.
You just start using it. Okay.
Someone wants to know how they know they're hearing a spirit, and somebody with the name G Porn, oh, that's PQRN, wants to know, do you like pickles?
Yes, I do.
Okay. How do you know when you're hearing spirit?
It comes to me telepathically,
basically,
and it's not my voice.
Yeah,
it's another voice.
It's not your inside voice.
I don't recognize. And sometimes I will hear them audibly as well. Like my name called, I'll turn around. Somebody's saying like somebody's behind you saying your name,
right?
Or somebody saying to the side. So sometimes I'll hear them audibly. Sometimes I'll hear them telepathically, and it's definitely not my voice. So I know somebody's reaching out. Sometimes it will wake me up.
Oh, okay.
And so you really got to embrace and trust that what's coming through to you then.
Oh, you have to definitely trust it.
Right.
Definitely.
You know that show Medium? Have you ever watched it?
I have.
I've barely seen one episode, but I have a good idea of what it's about. What do you think about, like, she has like a plethora of premonitions, and she's often awoken in her sleep, with these intense visions and messages. I mean, how much of a reality are we talking about here, as to what they present on TV? I mean,
That's a lot of TV, because if I had a vision like that every night, I would be throwing myself out the window.
Right. So that's like totally over the top, obviously.
Totally. Yes.
Yeah. It's
every show.
Yeah, it's a typical Hollywood thing, yeah.
Yeah. And, I'll have them once in a while. And some, she has them concerning, a lot of, unless, to me, I have them when it concerns something I can deal with, I can take care of.
You obviously shut it off too, when you need to go to sleep, and because I think,
or can you?
Or can you? I mean, I was under the impression that, if you constantly, have a barrage of voices coming at you, you'll need some quiet time. Do you ever find that you have to, consciously tune them out?
I do. In fact, I will do like a mini meditation.
Right.
And just kind of cleanse everything out from the day.
Right.
So I can sleep, but I don't sleep that well.
No.
I have to actually take pills to go to sleep every night so I can sleep.
Oh, wow.
You know what's great is not only have we had Tim and we've got Serenity, But we've got another medium in the room, Mike, your son, and he's out there, and people are kind of asking questions for you, and he's answering them from his own experiences, and it's really what a wonderful show we're having, because we're really getting a lot of great input from everyone. I want to, your son's just, I just want to put it out there to your son. Thank you so much for being in the chat room and doing things. Now, somebody asked, and he answered it.
What about the different voices?
That's what I'm about to say.
Voice? Oh, okay.
Because your son's answered it in his experience, and he's saying, I don't know about my mom, but somebody asked, is it different voices, or is it the same voice?
Different voices.
So they actually have different tones.
Very different tones. That's how I can tell if it's a woman, child, man,
And he said that they come to him, and there's just this feeling or knowing that it's something trying to communicate. So it's, and I love how he put it. It's not in the commit me now kind of way.
So is he saying that he's not clairaudient, or is he just more clairsentient?
He's clairaudient.
He is, because the way he's answering, it sounds almost like he's more clairsentient. So I was just trying to.
He is a clairsentient, but when I took him with me once to a hotel, he audibly, for the first time, heard something.
Right.
He freaked out.
Somebody asked you,
it was wonderful.
Right.
Somebody's asking you, does this drain your energy to talk to the other side?
Yeah. Oh yes.
So
yes.
You have to meditate.
So tired around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I really am. It does drain you, because just the energy that you're using to communicate with the other side.
So you really do have to meditate at a higher level of energy.
You have to. You definitely have to.
Right.
This is something like, because Tim was saying that that he meditates at a higher frequency, and that would actually drain the heck out of you.
Well, you would have to, I imagine.
Bring yourself to a higher place. Yes, a different, high frequency.
Yeah. So, and they have to, lower theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to get them to lower theirs.
Yeah, I think that's when mediums say, "Oh, hang on, you're going too quickly. Slow down." I can't catch exactly what you're saying. Yeah, and a lot of people would tend to look at mediums when that happens and say, "Oh, you're not that good." Not knowing what is actually occurring at that time. So
that they're not speaking
exactly as we would normally comprehend it.
Right.
Now, Serenity, I'm not. Serenity's always so nice, and she'll say things, to us and stuff like that. But I'm gonna put it out there. I really am. How many of these crazy heads are out there yelling, "I'm a psychic medium right now. I'm a medium."
There are so many. Yeah.
Why is that the new? Why is that the new hot word?
It seems to be a new faddish kind of thing right now. Yeah. I don't know if it's because of the TV shows.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's because of the TV shows. It seems to be this latest craze. I can't say that some of them aren't, because I know that a lot of people are coming into their gifts later because they did have to suppress them. But it seems like everybody now is a psychic medium.
And there's schools out there doing like a whole it's just like coursework, and they're charging hundreds of dollars.
Well, it shouldn't. I mean,
See, if you're going, please. Anybody who's listening, please do not pay hundreds of dollars to open yourself up, please.
So you're saying that's a ripoff?
Yeah.
It's a big ripoff.
Right.
Wow. Somebody in the chat room said, and I'm going to tell you their story here.
Scams. Yes.
My 4-year-old son talks to what he calls his friends in his head. He has also told me a lot of my dad, who passed, as though he is having a regular conversations with him. Is there something I can do as a father to help him deal? I know it may be, and I think he meant to say imagination, but it doesn't sound to me like it's imagination. But Serenity, what can he do?
Yeah.
If you have a child that's got that gift, what can you do?
Okay. Since he's 4 years old.
Yeah.
watch them for a while. Log them. I think the best thing to do at 4 years old, because at a certain point, sometimes it does go away since they're children. It does go away, and because all children are so close to the veil, they might be able to. They might lose it.
Right. Yeah. Why?
But,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, honey.
But interact with him. Ask him who he's talking to. Log it. I mean, get a journal. Log everything he says.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And don't suppress him.
Mm-hmm.
If it goes away, it goes away. If it doesn't, just keep encouraging him, because I'll tell you what, once he starts school, or
it's going to be,
it's going to be very hard, and he will probably have to keep it hidden from people at school.
Right.
From teachers, things like that.
And he may start rejecting it too, if he sees his peers don't,
Exactly.
share the same gift. Yeah.
Exactly. And, so he wants to have, because home is security.
Right.
You want to help your kids and know that this is a place you can have your gift and not be made fun of.
Right.
And not be,
Serenity.
afraid to be yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You and I were talking, and you told me a great exercise that someone can do, just even if it's not for their mediumship, but to actually start opening themselves up. You know what I mean? You know what I'm referring to, yeah?
Right. Everybody can try this, and if you really want to open up your outer senses, I was even talking to my son before, and he brought up another good that I'm going to tell you both. I'm going to give you both of them. Right. If you sit in a room and blindfold yourself, and you can even wear earplugs, and you have somebody, it's like testing yourself, your outer senses, and have Jymie, put a blindfold on Vicky, put some earplugs in, go out of the room, walk softly,
right,
and see if you can feel when you're there.
Right.
Or else have somebody else go in the room, see if Vicky can tell if it's Jymie or somebody else.
That's a really good exercise.
That's a really good one.
And there's also another one that my son was even talking about. Stand to the wall with your eyes closed,
mm-hmm,
and have somebody walk up on you and say stop when you can tell how. That way you can, when you feel them right near you, have them stop. That's how far your energy. Pretty soon your energy, you'll be able to feel them start.
I didn't quite.
She was saying when they have somebody walk up on you while you're blindfolded.
Who says stop?
You say stop.
Oh, okay.
You say stop.
When you can feel them in your energy.
Oh, when you can feel that. Right.
I can feel you. Stop. That will show you how much.
So they're aware from the get-go when they're walking into the room. I mean, it's not like a sneak up, kind of thing.
Right. But you want to see how much energy, how far apart your energy, like 2 feet,
the
a foot,
parameter,
the energy right behind.
Right.
And pretty soon, once you get it, you'll be able to feel Jymie, in the other room maybe, right at the door when she's walking up to you.
Oh, yeah.
So you want your outside, you're working on your outside senses.
Right. Yeah, that's important. Most people think, I guess they do concentrate mainly on the internal senses.
Right. And
they neglect the external. Yeah.
And that's what you want to work on.
Right.
Wow, that is something, because nobody ever thinks about working externally.
Yeah, it's just these little snippets. I know that as a magician, but for some reason when I think of medium work, I neglect that important bit of, like almost duh. It's information that it's one of the tools that you need to, in conjunction, work with,
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's and that again is just like, like propaganda and stuff. You only you hear certain things, and then before you know it, you're only accepting of those things, despite yourself.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, because it's been said often enough, and it's like, and all common sense sometimes tends to, shut off.
G Money says she can feel him from Utah, and he's in Indiana, and I bet she can.
I can.
She can. He can make her fuzzy.
Oh boy,
he can make me fuzzy. But I mean, when I first started talking to him, when we started getting close, what's wrong with your leg?
Right, for real,
Mouth.
Yeah.
And
your son says he doesn't need to know this.
Okay. Preceded by a ew.
Yeah, preceded by an ew.
Just the leg and the mouth.
Just the leg and the mouth.
Are you saying that you can feel
injuries and pain?
Injuries and pain from friends.
I can.
So you're
empathic then as well.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Okay. You have
That's why he can make me fuzzy.
Mike said that's his fuzzies talking, and G goes, "Oh my God, not like that." Your son's worrying about all the feeling and fuzzies that are happening.
How old is Mike? Mikey.
He's going to be 34 this.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But that's so you're empathic. Just you can. That's got to be a real drain. I mean, that has to. Now, I don't really understand the whole empathy thing. I really don't. So
G did take his fuzzies. That's serious. I wonder if that's why I'm shaking.
I think he has, because I don't believe that he hasn't.
G took fuzzies.
I'm serious. It's just like I am shaking, you guys. Seriously shaking.
Right.
And I don't like the. Gee, did you? Seriously, you better answer in that chat room if you did or not, because I'm going to smack you.
Is he listening? Or maybe he's just reading.
No, he's listening. So this whole the empathy thing. Now, is that something you can control? Well, obviously you do. Unless you don't right now, but but do you try to control that when you're around certain people that are in pain? Is it possible to control it?
It's really not, because if I'm reading a person and all of a sudden my leg will hurt, or I will start hurting where they're hurting. It also happens, if I go into somebody's house who's really, or even someplace that's very actively haunted, I'll cry or I'll laugh or whatever that I feel, at the time. But if depression, people are depressed, I come way down. Wow. I really do get quiet. I know it's not mine. I can always tell if it's mine or not.
G Money, he's changed his name. G Money says no, he didn't take any fuzzies.
Okay, how much Mountain Dew has he drank?
Maybe you're feeling Jymie.
Jymie, are you on pink fuzzies?
She took fuzzies yesterday. She's got intense kidney pains in both of them, actually, which we're trying to.
I'm sitting here going from chills to sweating.
Been writhing in pain throughout this whole show.
Gosh, see, right. Okay, now I'm blaming on Jymie. I'm sorry, G.
Yeah, it's. I was going to say it's. I was saying to Jymie, it's you. Yeah, she took a fuzzy yesterday, but it didn't help at all. Because once your kidneys kick in and spasm, that's it.
Well, yeah, and I'm sitting here shaking, and I'm looking at the fan, going.
Yeah, and she's shivering. Yeah,
I'm shivering.
And I shouldn't be shaking like this.
I'm shivering, and I've done this whole show, biting my thumb in pain.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Okay. Jymie, you're in trouble now, honey. You really are in trouble now.
Woohoo. Somebody asked in the thing, do you get premonitions of something big coming, like an earthquake or something else?
Oh, God, please. Oh, my gosh. There's earthquakes every other day.
Right.
My God.
But I was
going to say
like
which
a huge one.
Yeah.
Like something that would be huge.
the next thing I see that I've had a dream about, and this is a dream that's reoccurring, and it's a big flood that's coming. Trucks can't move. It's hard to get, and I don't know where. It's in the United States. I'll tell you that right now.
Right.
Trucks can't move. Planes can't land. They're dropping food, things like that. People are getting very sick. This dream is continual, just like 9/11. I dreamed that. Right. That was terrible.
See, yeah.
But it came to me in silos. It didn't come to me as the World Trade Center. It
right.
came to me in 2 silos as people were running out.
Right.
And the place was smoking and on fire.
Wow.
And I had those dreams, and now I have this dream that keeps coming and hasn't come to pass yet. So, Jymie, stop it! Take a pain pill already, hon.
Yeah. Well, she can't. She'll get all slurry. So we're gonna hold off.
Because then I sound like I'm drunk.
Yeah, all right. We'll wait till
Better
later.
than you shaking, honey. I'd rather sound like I'm drunk.
It's because I've been like telling Jymie for the last few weeks. It's driving me a little crazy. Like I keep walking around and then looking up, expecting things to fall down around my head, and I keep saying to her, something really terrible is going to happen, and like earthquake wise.
Yeah,
and it's actually driving me insane. And I'm in the back. Every time I walk into the back of the store, I just imagine a huge quake. And I don't think it's going to happen near the store. It's going to happen somewhere. But I think I'm just getting the sense of the enormity of it. Yeah.
Trust in your instincts.
Yeah, it's terrible. I'm just like, I'm so dreading it. It's just so, it just feels so terrible, enormous, So. Yeah. That doesn't make me feel any better now that you said.
Well, not only that, since Serenity wasn't listening, and Tim said that he actually has a sense of something happening in 4 to 5 years where people are going to leave in mass groves, and he goes, I guess you can call it a suicide.
Yeah.
He goes, but people are going to start leaving in about 4 years.
Yeah.
He goes, in mass, and he goes, it's whatever. He goes, I feel sorry for him. He goes, but I think that the energy, their energies won't be able to take it. So we started talking about 2012, and I know you and I have talked about 2012 and how we don't really believe it's the end of the world. It's just the end of organized religions.
And it's weird because I think we're getting these feelings right now, and there's a lot of interesting planetary lineups lately. I think right now we're in a T-square with Saturn and Pluto. But usually that's catastrophic, normally in a business sense, but it kind of like it kind of is a indication of there's going to be a lot of upheaval.
Well, there is. I mean,
so I guess even in the lay of the land, you know what I mean? Like,
exactly. I mean, I've been watching, certain things, and nothing seems to be going. It's just like the weather here, everywhere. Things that are happening, they're becoming more constant, and it's just it is. I've been watching the weather. It's just like, seriously, this is happening. Seriously, this is happening, and I'm feeling that it's going to get more catastrophic as we get closer.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's. But
and I got a feeling that a lot of people are going to start screaming that that this is Armageddon, that this is God's way of cleansing, and I got a feeling that's going to cause a lot of suicides. People are going to say that's the end of the world,
without a doubt. And they're always going about the end of the world, but when this hits, they'll know it.
Well, every time there's an earthquake, they say God.
And it's the end of the world as they know it. It's not like the end of the world, which is what they need to get out of their heads.
Really?
Yeah, it's as they know it. I don't know why they can't make the freaking distinction. I'm so sick of these. Yeah, anyway, I'm not going to go on about a rant. I don't want to rant on radio. But, it's... anyway. Generally, I think we're in need of a good cleansing,
We really are.
The world needs a good
enema. Right?
An enema. That's right, Jay. Seriously.
Yeah. And I do want to be around to see it, actually. I'm not one of these people who say, wow, I hope I'm not around. I know we'll be around to see it.
You know why? Because it'll bring out enlightenment and spiritualism
because
back.
That's what we are striving for. So I'd love to see that many more people finally, connect with that. without being constrained, misguided by, what I think organized religion is a real huge evil in this world. It's all business orientated, war orientated, money, whatever. Yes. It's an inflammatory topic, I guess, but I want to be here to see it. I truly do. Yeah.
Now, Serenity, Serenity does a lot of things, by the way. One of the things that I saw is she's got an autobiography coming out.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
and a show, right?
Yeah.
She can't say much about the show.
No. Okay, I'm just putting
But she does have a show.
I'm just putting it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There's more to Serenity than meets the eye.
There is. She is more than Sam Smart. Yeah, she's more than a pretty face. She's more than Sam S'mores. She's more than Sam.
In fact, she's not Sam at all.
Frank when I need him. Dang,
Where's Frank? Frank. We have this character on the board who insists her name is Sam.
And I'm Sam's secretary.
Right. And,
yeah, exactly. Jimmy's my secretary.
Yeah, it's one of these, I don't know if I should go on about it.
But anyway. You've got an autobiography called My Spiritual Journey.
Right.
I do.
And that's coming out in stores soon, yeah?
It's coming out when I
finish it.
Get it out there. Mm-hmm.
It says this spring, but this spring next year, I guess.
Yeah.
Did you notice she didn't put a year down?
I noticed. It's wide open.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you guys, seriously, it's just like I get so busy.
Right. We know you're really hideously busy. Yeah.
People are asking, and I want to put it out there. It's www.serenitymore.com. Moore, serenitymore.com, because people are asking
Sam S'mores.
Not Sam S'mores.
I wonder if we typed in Sam S'mores, what we would get.
I don't know.
But if there isn't one out there, we should buy it and put Serenity's face on it.
I know.
We should.
That and Genilla Pup.
Yeah, that way Frank could find me all the time.
There you go.
Yeah, I told her name was Sam.
Right.
I told you her name was Sam. You argued with me. Her name is not Serenity, it's Sam.
Sam. It's like, okay, that's news to Serenity, but if you insist.
Okay, I will be informing her that we've changed her name. Now, you do, and I don't know how much you can go into it, and it is how comfortable you are. You work with law enforcement.
And my son is slow at editing it, see?
Your son.
Okay.
He's going to take some of it. He'll take some of that blame.
Well, you mature 26-year-old, get on it.
So you work with the law enforcement.
Yes.
And you help them with cases of missing
I do.
Persons?
I do. And a lot of cold case files.
No way.
Somebody said Greg said when Sam S'mores comes up, porn pops up.
Oh no.
Serious?
Yeah.
Okay, nobody put Sam S'mores in there.
I have to see.
But you work on cold cases, and you know what, that's great, because it wasn't too long ago that the police department, they wouldn't even talk to profilers.
No, it doesn't.
You put what did he type in? Oh, that's because he did Moore's, like her last name.
Oh no,
instead of like the candy.
I did it like the candy.
So that's something. I mean, you must have the detectives that you work with.
Yes.
And they must be pretty cool.
They are. They really are. They're great guys.
Because a lot of police departments would just completely.
They hang on every word I say. What I've got to tell you what happened though. This is really funny. This is a funny story. We were walking up. They were walking behind me. We were walking up this hill, and I said, "Wait!" And they all went, "What? What?" And I just had to pee. So they hang on my every word. I'm sorry I said that, but I had to.
That is funny. That is funny.
Well, now, in the middle of nowhere,
And there are a lot of cold cases out there. A lot of people think that there's all these departments and these places because of TV. Let's go right back to TV and stuff like that, right?
Right.
And really, you've got these shows that show that they solve cold cases on their own, that they solve a case in an hour, that they, and that's not the case. And you're probably looking at piles, aren't you?
Yes, and you're not. I wish it was an hour long. I really do. It's days, it's weeks. There's just, seriously, people don't understand. I mean, I have to remote view. They give me things and I have to remote view. They don't tell me anything.
Really? So you can do remote viewing?
Oh, wow.
Right. And so I look at the place and I remote view and I start writing and drawing.
Oh.
And
the government's very into that.
And if I see, any kind of certain things like rock formations or anything, cattle guards.
How do you define between remote viewing and just a psychic visual impression? I mean, is it one and the same?
To me, it's like I'm looking down at the place.
Ah, right. So it's a perspective.
Right.
Okay.
It's a different perspective. I'm actually looking down like I'm in an aeroplane.
Oh, okay.
You
get an aerial view. Oh.
I get the aerial view.
Right.
And see.
Well, that makes sense.
On the ground.
Right.
So,
wow.
Oh.
Your son said that the women in our family and their bladders.
Yeah.
And Greg said to talk about the EVP and the news clip Serenity.
So that's, I just want to say that remote viewing thing's really interesting to have, because I guess like all the other mediumship is more of, like more getting into details, and your remote viewing allows you a wider scope of,
right.
So that's actually pretty handy.
Right.
Wow.
It is,
I don't think I've ever heard of anybody using remote viewing, in a mediumship capability, sense, structure.
You have got to be one heck of a conduit.
Yeah, yeah.
No wonder why you're exhausted all the time.
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. No, seriously, I mean, you're working with so much energy, channeling, expending, exhausted.
Do you go into like a trance when you do the remote view? Is it like a trance, or is it a dream state?
Yes, like a dream state, trance, and then that's when I just start drawing and writing.
Oh, okay.
So you do the automatic.
So I was going to say that's automatic drawing and writing then.
Basically, yeah.
You just do it all.
That's why I say nighty night.
I need to compare notes with you on the automatic writing.
Because Vic does that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's and you're not aware of what you're writing or drawing, right?
Right. And does your handwriting change with each session and each person? Yeah, so does mine.
It changes because of, who's
the
giving you the information.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're actually letting yourself be a conduit for the person to actually start taking your hands and writing.
Right.
You have to.
Yeah, the only time I can do really nice cursive writing is when somebody else is channeling through me. Otherwise, that's the way I know for a fact somebody's doing it,
Mine's nice cursive writing until I start doing it. And I can even draw fairly good.
Yeah.
And, draw fairly well. Well, and then when somebody comes through, it's just like, what is that?
Yeah, it's a little rudimentary. Yeah, I've had the drawing. I can draw fairly well too, but when I've done which is not very often, it's like, what is that?
Yeah, exactly.
It's more symbolic though, and it actually speaks volumes though. So it's not more. Yeah, it contains another energy, in itself.
And a great, great practice for that, for the listeners out there and everybody, is actually sit down with a piece of paper and a pencil, close your eyes, clear your mind, and kind of go into a Zen-like meditative state.
You got to meditate.
And if you feel your hand wanting to move, let it.
I know when
you just let it flow.
Yeah.
Just let it flow.
Yeah.
And don't open your eyes to try to see
what you're writing
or try to decipher it until after it's done.
Yeah.
You wait until it stops, and then you look down and say,
when I started, I could never read what I was writing. Yeah. Until, like, maybe for an hour or two I could, and then afterwards it just looked like scroll,
Serenity, somebody wants to know, does Serenity feel sometimes that her gift is not controllable?
Oh, that's a good question.
Actually, no. I have total control of my gift.
Right.
I have in control.
Okay.
I can imagine when you're starting up and honing in, the control, it might be a little, maybe it will seem a little uncontrollable. Right.
But it's really important.
That's kind of like a question, actually. I wasn't stating a fact.
But, I have to be in control. I have to be in control.
Right.
So, Serenity, Greg wants you to talk about the lady on the couch.
Yeah, now we're just curious.
Lady at the couch. Okay.
And the EVP and the news clip.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have no idea what this is about.
The lady on the couch. Lady on the couch came to visit me. It was a spirit, and I don't know why Greg wants me to talk about this because she was just cute. I came downstairs and saw this woman knitting, doing something, and it was an older woman, and she was just sitting on the couch. And I passed her and came back, and I says, and she just kind of looked at me, and she said, "Do I belong here?" And I said, "No, sweetie, you don't." And she said, "Okay." And she left.
Oh, wow.
So was she seeking guidance then?
Yeah, well, she was
like a direction.
Confused.
Yeah, as to where to head to. Did you just did you tell her, like, the usual head towards the light kind of scenario?
No.
Well, I'm only asking because, I don't know.
I actually didn't.
Right.
I mean, I have before, but she just said, "Do I belong here?" And I said, "No, you don't."
Or maybe that's all she needed.
And that's all she basically needed,
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
She said, "Okay," and she left.
Okay, maybe she just needed a little validation.
Right, she did. I think because, I think she was just confused.
Right.
Oh. So you can get just spirits that pass through.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, yes, all the time.
And they're just, would you say, because you do the paranormal thing too, would you just say that they are connected to maybe the grounds or the spots, or are they actually looking for someone who can see them?
I think they're actually looking for my help, because that's what they basically are asking me and waking me up for, or coming to me for.
Right.
Help.
What else was there? Was there something about an EVP? Or...
yeah, okay.
And a news clip.
This person that I'm looking for, she disappeared 7 months ago. There's a news clip that at 1:52 you can hear a breath. You can hear EVP in it. You can hear this
in a news clip.
It's not. Yeah, it's a news clip.
Oh.
And you can hear this, and it's
like everybody can hear that.
Yeah, this is who Frank was talking about this girl that I'm looking for.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it aired on TV, you're saying you could hear a breath in that news clip.
Yeah, you can hear her breath in the news clip.
Okay.
So it's, it's pretty. And Greg's playing with it right now to see if he can amp it up to see if it says anything or not.
All right.
Yeah. Very cool thing to hear. Especially in a news clip, and I'm wondering if the news people or anybody caught that. And
That news clip, was it on I was going to say location, but maybe that's silly. Was it in the studio?
No, it was actually out where a volunteer group was trying to find her.
Oh, so it was semi on location. Yeah, we don't know if that's the exact area, obviously.
No, but it's in the close proximity of where.
Well, would that denote that she's dead then?
Yes, she is.
Yeah,
definitely.
right.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's the police aren't really doing anything, and I don't want to say too much now.
Right, no, of course not.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, we don't want to cross any lines here.
It's only what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, totally.
Because we get that.
Yeah. And G put it out there in the chat if anyone wants to go listen. Look at 152.
Oh, okay. We'll hit it later.
Yeah, there's a good link there for everyone.
That. Yeah, you can hear that.
I think it would be too hard to.
What I'm going to do...
Maybe put it on. It depends on how long he leaves it up for, too. So it may become a broken link.
What I'm going to do... Oh.
We can put it on the podcast, perhaps. I don't know. Like when we do our description.
Oh, it's actually the news clip.
Oh, it's the news clip.
So what I'm going to do...
Oh, okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy for our listeners. I'm going to keep this clip here. I'm going to copy it and the time so that we can actually place that
sometimes
in the Podomatic.
Can we do that
archives?
sometimes? That's a violation of copyright infringement.
No, because it's going to the newspaper site.
Oh, okay.
See,
I know
it's the news
sometimes
site.
they get a little iffy about stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah, but look, they've got it so you can Facebook and
Okay.
everything.
Oh, okay. That's totally different.
So we'll send that out there to everybody who listens into the Podomatic site so that you can go listen to the 1 minute and 52 second part in the clip. It is where the crime took place.
Right.
And I will post the link out on Podomatic.
I was thinking AP News.
No.
That's it. That's
right.
what does it. Right.
So thank you, Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Greg.
And Serenity. And I'm telling you, this has been a really good show. I really love this show. We've had some really great guests. Of course, we've had Tim Braun on there. We've had the wonderful Miss Serenity. Because it's just been a pleasure. We've been trying to get Serenity on the show now for a couple of weeks.
I'm here.
You're here. Normally she logs off if she has to eat.
Or go to bed.
Or have a pizza.
Okay.
Because tell them why, Jimmy.
Yeah, she can't eat and
she can't eat.
Communicate with Jimmy at the same time.
She has a hole in her lip.
Drink.
I think she was born with a hole in her bottom lip.
She feeds her lap and she feeds her monitor.
Well, because Jimmy makes me laugh so hard, you guys. Okay, listen. Okay, Jimmy makes me laugh so hard. As soon as I take a drink, it spews all over the monitor.
I'm not that funny.
Yes, you are. You are funny.
Okay.
You're totally funny.
And I was trying to eat pizza the other day, fell right on my lap. Down, gooey stuff, face down. Had to go change pants because Jimmy. So I do not.
She doesn't have that effect on me, though.
But you're right there with her all the time. But sometimes she'll come up with something so funny, it just.
Oh yeah, I have done that.
Out loud.
Okay, I take it back. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. See, she does do that to you.
Yeah, sometimes.
And
yeah.
I can't. I can't. I'm afraid to do anything. I have to drink,
eat.
Yeah, anything serious. It's just like, yeah, I don't want to, have alcohol abuse. She's like, alcohol, that's alcohol abuse. Well, you made me do it.
Or pee. Your son said something about
pee. Or pee, yeah, exactly. Or pee. That's what I have to wear Depends.
Oh, no. Oh, you put that out there. Now everyone's going to know.
Well, see, my son put it out there. Or pee.
You know what? I do want to touch on one final thing because it always bugs me. And I want to do, and it's not really a whole show that you can do it on. Serenity, the BS about the Ouija boards.
Yeah. I've got a bone on that. No, I want to hear what you say.
No, you guys, it's just a board. It really is. It's not something super magical that's going to raise demons to come out and eat your face.
But it's a portal for...
It's a portal.
For the spirit world.
And sometimes taking it too seriously, it would be like calling the payphone in front of 7-Eleven and asking them for spiritual advice.
Yeah. Like you can get that caliber of spirit sometimes.
And you do need to close it. You do need to close it.
Oh my God, we say that constantly. It's like you open the door, but you neglect to close the door. Yeah.
If you don't close the door,
that's when
don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean that's poltergeist activity and who knows what else.
But as a medium,
you open a door, you close it.
Right.
Okay,
as
that's
a medium.
What you got to do.
Right.
As a medium, have you seen anybody haunted?
Right,
a Ouija
and
board.
they do burn.
Right.
Believe me.
Yeah, they burn. Okay, Jymie had a question.
As a medium.
Okay.
As a medium in your professional life and things that you've seen, have you ever come across anybody who's been possessed, haunted, or demonized because they used because they used a Ouija board?
No.
Yeah. No. Oh, but on the other hand, what was the yes I have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go back to the yes I have.
Just possessed.
Okay.
So, Fabby wants to know, how do you close the door?
Okay, I'll let her do it. It's not my show. How do you?
It is your show.
I mean, no, I'm not the guest. What methods do you utilize to close a door?
I've never used a Ouija board.
Okay,
yeah,
you know what? It's really simple.
Yeah.
What you do is you say goodbye to the spirit.
You dismiss them.
Yeah. If I'm leaving a place or anything like that, and I'm closing a door that I've opened.
Right.
Okay. Say because I want to communicate with the spirit.
Right.
Okay. Then I just say exactly, Jymie. You just say goodbye.
Yeah.
No.
Because if you dismiss them, they go.
I usually thank them. Not that I'm not a major user of the Ouija board.
I thank them. Yeah. I do thank them for
coming.
Thank
them and then dismiss them. Yeah.
And dismiss them exactly because they're if you're asking them to come in.
And it's not even so much the spirit perhaps that was helping you. It's for any entity, any spirit to come through.
Right.
Not always the one that was helping you. Yeah.
Somebody, I saw Greg goes, I don't use the board. I just call Serenity. And I said, well, it literally is. You might as well, you can use the Ouija board, and there are actually two ways to use it. And one is you can ask for the spirits that are out there. But you know what? If you're going to ask them spiritual advice, call 7-Eleven and ask them for spiritual advice, because you're going to probably get about what's the equivalent.
Well, the thing is, what I tell people is, go ahead.
And then the second way is the ideomotor syncrasy of the mind.
Yeah.
And that is, it is used as a tool to open your own mind to receive your own intuitions, and it acts as the portal for you to be able to trust yourself.
Because it's believed that the unconscious mind knows the answers to all questions, and these tools help bring it into a conscious state.
Right, that's why a lot of people...
That was a mouthful, but that's what I always tell people.
Sometimes you don't even need a board. People will write on the piece of paper, A, B, C, D, yes, no, whatever.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Just on a piece of paper, they can use it in the same way as
Right. But as far as you may get, like in 7-Eleven caliber spirit, like I always tell people, well, request the kind of spirit you need. Like you say, hey, I need a high vibrational functioning spirit that can help answer truthfully such and such a question, and that normally weeds out lower level entities. And if one should come through, you have every right to question them. And if they, and usually they fall for these trick questions. And if one should come through, you dismiss them and say, hey, I didn't ask for you, I asked for this. And then you put the call out again. Like you actually do have control. You're not at their mercy, or you know what I mean? You're in control. If you're using a tool, you're in control always. Not the other way around.
I also ask my spirit guides for help.
Exactly. And normally
that's better.
Yeah. Normally I say, if you're having trouble, having them manifest through your dreams and such, well, do it through a board and ask for your spirit guide.
But I know that there were a few people that if they couldn't trust themselves enough to be able to answer their questions, so they would sit there with a board and they'd get the answers, but you could see they were pushing it to the to the letters and the numbers. And really, that's the ideomotor mind.
Right.
That is your subconscious mind talking to you.
Right. And sometimes you're just fooling yourself too.
Yeah,
it's easy to manipulate a pendulum.
But the whole thing with the Ouija boards is, and I hear so many people go, "Oh my God!"
Right.
Stay in control. Why do you keep giving control over?
Right. You don't never give control over.
And as a medium, wouldn't you say that, because you're in more contact with them, wouldn't you say that's more right?
Right.
Exactly.
because I just wanted to get that out there because I know that, when we talk about Ouija boards and stuff like that, so many people freak out and they're so uptight.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is if they're not uptight and scared of it, the other ones are living word by word from it.
We sell a lot of antique boards in our store, and people are like, well, what if it has a demon attached to it, or somebody had a bad experience? I said, it's just a portal, nothing's imprinted.
Just throw salt at it.
Yeah, I mean, if it makes you feel better, do a cleansing over it, cleanse the portal and commence. You know what I mean? It's, it's not forever tainted, and that's just their minds usually just running rampant.
Fabiola is asking, is it an evocation or an invocation? It is neither.
Yeah.
You are neither invocating or evocating.
It's a portal.
It's a portal.
It's a portal.
Which is AKA a door. Yeah.
It's a door.
I mean, I can sit there at my window and ask something, or my closet and ask something to come through.
Right.
It's just like that. Seriously, people.
Right.
You can go to your closet and say, please, I want this spirit, I'm looking for an intelligent spirit to come talk to me tonight. And, well, actually, I would call my spirit guides first.
And your son's got a good point. He says it's easy for the inexperienced people who use the board to subconsciously open themselves up to communications or interactions with paranormal activity. And it is. And sometimes people don't know how to interact with the paranormal activity.
Right.
And that's where the big problem comes in. And I believe that's what... I was listening to the show before ours, live from the Ghost Hunters store. Mm-hmm. Great people. David and Tina was on it, and it was really cool. And they were saying, all these people go out there and they try to interact with the paranormal, and they aren't really ready, and they really aren't prepared mentally or emotionally to deal with it. And Mike's right. The board opens it up to people who aren't prepared for it, and then they're going to yell at that it's a demonic possession. But it's because fear allows you to give things over to things. And here's the other thing. You said that it's like a door. It's just opening up a door.
Right.
I mean, at any given time, you can actually open the door, and it can be like the Mormons at your door. So I mean, when you're playing with the Ouija board, it really is that you're opening up a door, and you don't know what's on the other side. You don't know how legitimate it is, and everything should be with a grain of salt. And always remember, you opened the door, so you have the power to close the door.
Right.
And
don't ever lose. Yeah. Don't
lose sight of that.
Don't lose. Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
And as a medium, you would know that best because you open so many doors.
Well, I do, and with every reading, I have to do a meditation to have my spirit guides, actually to keep the earthbound spirits kind of at bay, holding them back because they'll mess with me.
Really now, the earthbound spirits. What are earthbound spirits?
The ones that are hanging around here, they don't like that lady.
Right.
Are they confused? Are they?
Yeah, they're confused.
Or are they making a choice to stay?
They're both. Okay, some make the choice to stay. Yeah. Some are just confused.
Mm-hmm.
Some are afraid.
Right.
Because of what man-made religion did. So anyway.
And maybe they're checking to see if anyone else needs them. Who knows?
But I have to keep them at bay because sometimes they play funny little tricks and say funny little things to me. So I have to actually ask my spirit guides to kind of keep them at bay while I'm doing a reading.
Right.
So people who do these this is good.
Yeah.
This is a good little teaching point.
Right.
So people who want to do the meditations and try to connect and try to follow their intuition during their meditations, they should be asking their guardian spirits, their spirit guides, their angel guides, their totems, whatever they have, to keep at bay the spirits that are going to mess with you.
Right.
Or could be negative.
Exactly. Because like the reading, I mean, I had to learn that a long time ago. I can't do a reading with earthbound spirits around me when they are around me because they will try to trick me.
Really? They'll try to throw you off your game?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
They want the attention. They want the attention.
So that's going to say their objective is your undivided attention.
Exactly.
Oh, so they're like the little kid. Look what I can do. Look what I can do. Look
Right.
what I can do.
Right.
Well, Serenity, I know we've kept you on an awful long time, and I want to thank you for coming on
I
tonight.
love to be here with you girls because I love to talk to you.
And it is serenitymore.com, and she does now. Serenity, do you just do readings in your house? Can they call you? Can they set up appointments for phone readings?
Yeah, they can call me or they can email me.
And you do phone readings for people?
And I do phone readings.
Yeah.
That is so awesome, so that you don't even have to be near Serenity, and you've got Miss Sam S'mores.
Yep.
That's right.
So www.serenitymore.com.
And what else do you do, Serenity? Because you're the head of PQRN.
Yeah.
You do
Well, you guys are too.
just you with G money.
We're talking about you now.
Oh, well.
Somebody
and go
says
to www.panpipes.com.
and you do Just Saying Radio.
Right.
And I do Just Saying Radio.
And you do another show with is it Glenn? Is it Mike?
Who?
Mike. No.
Mike?
Scott.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It's
And
there.
I only talked to him for the last 2 weeks.
It's there on the calendar if you hit the network. The
Give us
PowerQuest.
the days anyway, Serenity.
Yes.
Monday at 6 p.m. Dang! At 6 p.m. Pacific time. Okay? And so 9 Eastern Standard Time. And Just Saying is
Thursdays.
Thursdays. It's just like, oh my gosh, there's so many shows. Is at 6 o'clock my time, so 5 o'clock Pacific time.
Right.
And that would be 8 p.m. in the Eastern time.
That's what happens when we put her on the spot.
I know. It's just like, what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah. So it's like this many o'clock.
Yeah.
Just look on our calendar, you'll see when we are.
Yeah.
They're all Eastern Standard Time. So,
and you can find her on the ParaQuestRadioNetwork.com, the same show, the same station that we do.
That's right.
This show on. And thank you again, Serenity.
Thank
You're
you
welcome.
so much.
I
It was
love you so much.
it was fantastic talking to you, picking your brain.
Picking my brain. I always pick your guys' brain.
And that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave everybody now with Space Waves Walking By. But before we go, I want to announce next week's show.
Okay.
And that is Swen Plowright.
Right from Australia.
And he's an expert on runes.
He's a rune master.
Rune master.
He's written a few books, and he's also a musician, but his knowledge of the runes is incredible. And warrior, with the warrior aspect.
Yeah, and he's going to be on with us next week, and he's going to have a great time. We're going to have a great time with him, and we're going to talk about a lot of rune stuff.
A lot of Norse Germanic mythologies and spirituality.
So what we're going to do is we're going to end this show with Swen's song, Flesh Fiesta.
Yes.
And then after we're done with that, we'll go ahead and we'll start the encoder for music. So thanks everybody again. Thank you, Sam S'mores and Serenity Moore. And I want to thank Tim Braun for being on the show. And until next week, guys, have a good one.
Okay, see you later.
Okay.
Come to the pagan ritual mind.